So I never really talked about it, but I think it's time to talk about it now that there's actually a little bit of dead time in the playoffs. The Bronny James situation. So for those who don't know, Bronny James, formerly known as LeBron James Jr., son of, you guessed it, LeBron James, is coming off of his freshman year in college at University of South California, aka the USC, playing for the USC Trojans. Right, he's a 6'4" guard, 210 pounds. Went to Sierra Canyon, and he is looking to enter the NBA draft this season. After being a freshman, after playing 25 games, starting 6 games for USC, where he averaged 4.8, 2.1 assists, 2.8 rebounds, 0.8 steals, and 0.2 blocks on 37% shooting from the field, 27% shooting from 3, and 68% shooting from the line, right? So, a couple of things to talk about already. Number one, is he good enough to get into the league? And for me, just based off these stats, that's not a good indication. There's a couple of players in the league that have, played fairly well in the league, or at the very least, have shown potential in the league itself that didn't necessarily have good college stats. Because what the league is looking for is different from what college is looking for. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best players in college might not necessarily translate to the NBA game because the two games are completely different. But yeah, that's been the big question is Bronny James actually good enough to legitimately, without the LeBron James name, be a draft pick in this upcoming draft? And if he's not and teams are going to take him, is that a mistake? Listen, I think Bronny is definitely a dude that understands how scary the internet can be in 2024. I'm a person as well that understands that as well. And with the help of the sponsors of this video, Aura, you guys can definitely have more confidence navigating the web as well. I just looked up my email address on Google, and while I understand why this website would obviously have it, some of these websites I have never visited before, and it kind of freaks me out, the fact that they know what my email address is. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, and effectively a lot of really bad people that shouldn't have your information. Your government name, your email address, your home address, all of these things, your medical records are already out there for people to look for if they really wanted to try hard enough. And that's exactly why I've been using Aura. Aura shows me the data brokers that have been selling my information and automatically submit opt-outs on my behalf. And this cleanup process not only reduces the amount of spam I got, but it also protects me in the process. I'm just saying, I've seen so many times on the news that something that I use just had a data breach, and I'm just sitting in the back of my head like, ooh, I am screwed. But now that I got Aura, I'm not really worried about that anymore. Anyone who knows me know that I value my privacy a lot, and I really do think you guys should as well. And if you guys go to aura.com/BSOLZ, links to everything will be in the description. You guys can get a 2-week free trial on Aura. Links to everything again will be in the description down below alongside the pinned comment. And shout out to Aura for sponsoring this video. I guess let's go through it chronologically first. Bronny James decide that he's gonna enter the transfer portal. I believe that was the first move that was announced. And then he also decided a couple days after that he was going to enter the NBA draft. And in the draft combine, Bronny James looked good. Bronny James looked really, really good, right? Bronny tested as one of the fastest and most explosive athletes at the NBA draft combine in Chicago, faring well in shooting drills and scoring 13 points in a scrimmage. He also impressed at a heavily attended pro day at the Lakers facility last week. So if we can just look at his workout a little bit here. He's in LA, draining shots, you know what I'm saying? Spot up threes, putting in that work. Going left, right, dribble pull up, got it, right? Bronny looking pretty good. Here we go. Cross, pull, got it. Cross, pull, again, to the left, got it. So Bronny James, I know this is just highlights, but Bronny James looks pretty good from what everyone is saying. And this is his highlights from the draft combine itself. Bronny points with 9 points in the first half of his second NBA draft combine game. You know what I'm saying? Spot up in the corner, yak him, get at the fall. Yo, Bronny looks built, bruh. Let me tell you right now, Bronny definitely got an NBA body on him, man. And then, them Bron jeans are kicking in, man. The Bron James are kicking in. So he had a really good draft combine, right? In 2 games, he had 17 points. Actually, he wasn't efficient. He was 6 of 18, but 17 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 turnovers. Couple more highlights right here, right? Bron was there too. You know, I don't necessarily know if he's 6'1" or 6'4". I believe they got him in at 6'1", but nonetheless, that's around his height, 6'1" or 6'4". And then today, Bronny announced that he will essentially double down on going into the draft. I feel like at this point, right? You know, I feel like the feeling is LeBron James Jr. or Bronny James, Jesus Christ, is going to go to the NBA draft. The deadline for players with remaining college eligibility to decide whether they'll stay in the draft or return to school is midnight tonight. So he's going to stay in the NBA draft. He's not going back to USC. He's trying to get into the league. And even further news, Bronny James was scheduled for 10 workouts with NBA teams, but he's declined all of them except for 2. The Lakers and the Suns, per Shams Charania on running back FDTV. Phoenix will legitimately be considering Bronny at the number 22 overall pick. So first of all, let's talk about, you know, is Bronny James actually good enough to get into the league? And again, from what I've been seeing, his claim to fame right now is defense, right? His claim to fame right now is defense. Along with a little bit of shooting, he can handle the rock a little bit. But I believe the archetype right now for him would probably be a Jalen Suggs, would probably be a Gary Payton Jr., Gary Payton II, GP2 is who I'm thinking of. That's probably going to be the archetype for him. I think Bronny James has also came out in public and said that, you know, he's not looking to be LeBron James. First of all, he's not looking to be one of these stars in the league out the gate. He knows where he's at in his basketball journey, and he said the player. I've been hearing a lot of players say this, by the way. The player he wants to be is a Drew Holiday, is a Derek White. You know what I'm saying? So I do like that from Bronny, that his expectations are set low on that front. Like he knows in this league to survive, you know, especially for a guy who isn't one of the top prospects in his draft. You know, you at the very least have to start off being a role player and just be a good damn role player and get your minutes up. And then hopefully you turn into a rotational piece. And then hopefully you turn into a starter. And then hopefully, you know, kind of similar to like MPJ's role in Denver. At some point you get more touches and you truly get them damn near star-like touches. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, not to say that that's even Bronny's goal. I think Bronny's goal right now is just to get drafted. But in terms of his ability to get into the league and if he deserves it, again, I've seen too many times in both directions, college not necessarily being the marker for success in the league. You know what I'm saying? We've been wrong about, you know, looking at people, players overseas and their numbers overseas and saying, oh my God, that dude's only averaging 7 points. How is he going to translate into the league? And then he turned out to be fine. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Bronny is one of those cases, and I will give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, a lot of people are saying that Bronny, this is all because of nepotism. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Bronny James, the main reason he is going to be in the league is because of nepotism. And to me, even if that's the case, maybe it's a hot take for some of y'all. I don't have a problem with that. I think this is a topic that goes beyond, you know, basketball. But I don't have a problem with parents setting their children up for opportunities and allowing their children, if they have the means to do so, to cut the line. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like a lot of us, especially when you're a LeBron James, have come from the bottom to work our way to the top to afford our families better lives, better opportunities that we didn't have access to. You know, and I think this is just one of those cases where, I'm LeBron James. I can pull some strings. And if you really want to get into the league, I can pull some strings. You know what I'm saying? And the main reason why I don't have a problem with it, and maybe this is a, hey man, be the change that you want to be type of thing, but me personally, this wasn't gonna stop. Nepotism has been a thing in corporate settings, in our personal lives. Hell, even just in basketball, bro. The coach's son thing, I'm sorry, bro. I've been on teams where the coach's son, just for the fact that he's the coach's son, gets a shit ton of touches when that motherfucker really wasn't that good to be getting all those touches. This has been a thing in basketball. And it's been accepted. You know? And even if it isn't accepted, it's not going to stop. So why would you stop the line for your son? You know what I'm saying? Or stop the train for your son. And if I'm LeBron James, I do the same thing. I don't have a problem with LeBron trying to pull the strings, trying to use his influence to get his son into the league. If and this is the biggest thing, and this will be my next transition to the next topic, is if that is what Bronny truly wants to do. That is my biggest question right now. Is this something that Bronny really wants to do? Or is this some sort of LeBron James thing? He's trying to live out his fantasy type thing. And maybe we'll never truly know. But me personally, if I'm LeBron, I keep on saying LeBron James Jr. If I'm in Bronny's situation, I would truly go back to college. If I'm Bronny, I don't want to be this is just me in his shoes, truly. And maybe he just has bigger aspirations for himself and he truly doesn't care about college. But if I'm in Bronny's situation, I am staying. I first of all, I wouldn't have entered the transfer portal. 2, I would have stayed at USC and enjoyed college years. Enjoyed these college years. You know what I'm saying? From my understanding, being LeBron James' son, you haven't had a normal childhood, you know, for the most part. You haven't had the most normal childhood. I think college is a time in a lot of in a lot of people's life where they experience a level of independence from their parents that they just never had before. You know what I'm saying? I think college is a time for you to be yourself, to really truly find yourself, and it's one of the funnest times of your life. You know what I'm saying? And especially if I'm Bronny James, big man on campus at USC, LeBron James' son. I ain't gonna lie, just off of that fact alone, I'm staying at USC. You know what I'm saying? I would love to be Bronny James at USC for a couple of years. You know, maybe possibly get my stock up, get my stock up in the draft after year 2, after year 3, because I do feel like the NBA is heading in a direction where they are looking for more NBA ready prospects out of college. Say to myself, yeah, I enjoyed my college days, and move on to my next phase of life. To me, honestly has nothing to do with basketball. Partially it does, but I just feel like that would be such a better alternative. And this is a privilege that Bronny definitely has because of his situation. Instead of possibly going into the league as a 20-year-old with so much pressure on you, you know what I'm saying? Not that the pressure wasn't always going to be there, but having so much pressure on you going into the league, you might get drafted by a crappy team. You're going to be in and out of the G League. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to fight for these minutes, like because of the fact that you're starting from so low, because you're starting from such an unproven starting point. That, again, because of the fact that Bronny has his privilege of choosing, you know, what's a more comfortable route for him, which some players don't. Again, it is a privilege. If I'm Bronny, I'm staying at USC. I'm staying at USC. And again, that to me is my biggest question is this something that Bronny wants? Is he entering the NBA draft because this is something that Bronny wants? Or is this some sort of like unspoken obligation that he has to LeBron because, you know, everything his dad has done for him? Maybe Bron's pressuring him too. Again, I'm not trying to speak on the relationship. I'm not trying to speak on Bron's relationship as well. But all I'm saying is if that is the case, bro, I don't, and that's the only reason LeBron James is really trying to get into this upcoming NBA draft. I don't like that for Bronny, bro. I don't like that for Bronny. You know what I'm saying? I feel like LeBron, you've had your career. You know, what if behind the scenes Bronny's a dude that's really trying to separate himself from LeBron? You know, I feel like a lot of famous celebrities' kids have had that dilemma of, bro, I am more than just my parent's son. Like, I am my own self. Like, what if Bronny's having that situation and Bron is just pressuring all of this to like for his own personal reasons. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, I am fully supportive of this. Mind you, I am not Bronny's parents anyway, so truly doesn't matter what I think. But just from a personal perspective, I am much more supportive of this if this is truly what Bronny wants to do, as opposed to some LeBron James dream that LeBron is just trying to live out. I feel like LeBron, you've had your time in the sunlight. You know what I'm saying? You've been in the league for 20 years. And this isn't just... This is completely different from Kobe essentially asking the Lakers for one thank you big-ass contract. And effectively like ruining the Lakers' rebuild for 2 to 3 years. You know what I'm saying? That's completely different. And mind you, Kobe has also done more for the Lakers specifically than LeBron. But nevertheless, you know, that's completely different than LeBron trying to force his son to get into the league because he has this dream of playing with his son. You know? So that's that on that. My next question when it comes to all of this is the other side of it. The teams who are looking to draft Bronny. And I will say, after these playoffs, bro, we need to put way more pressure on these front offices, dog. We need to put way more pressure on these front offices. And I really do hope the conversation when it comes to who the good or bad NBA franchises are, you know, when we talk about who is to blame for a team's success and their failures, both for better or for worse, we look at the front offices of some of these teams. Because when I see that effectively the Lakers and the Suns are the only two teams looking at Bronny, again, this is a completely different scenario from Bronny and, you know, if he wants to be in the league and what these teams should be doing. If they're effectively signing Bronny for the Lakers' sake to keep LeBron and for the Suns' sake to lure LeBron, that is bad GMing in my opinion. I'm sorry. We've seen it so many times. And I think for the Lakers specifically, on top of having this coaching change, just for lack of a better term, I'm gonna call it these TikTok ass rebuilds. These short attention span ass rebuilds through free agency that I feel like in this parity era have shown that, yo, great teams take time to build. You know what I'm saying? Great teams take time to build. Continuity is important. Having a coach in there that, you know, the players trust, and also having players that trust the coach is integral. I think that's been a really big part as to why the Celtics have been really good this season. You haven't heard a peep about their players complaining about the coach. You know what I'm saying? It's all smiles in that locker room. You know, one of Joe Mazzulla's things that he said at the Eastern Conference podium was that, you know, the biggest blessing that a coach can have is players that allow them to be coach. You know? And I feel like a lot of these teams, specifically the Lakers and the Suns, two teams that have recently fired their coaches, I told y'all this was going to happen. These teams should probably look to either go in a completely different direction, right, away from their cores right now, or if they're going to build around their cores, to just be more smart about it and not be so reactionary. And have the proper timetable to have these moves, to make these moves. But it looks like the Suns, even though they learned this is going to be the second time in a row, chat, where I feel like the Suns had certain problems, and they're just trying to get some names in the locker room because it's going to sound good. You know what I'm saying? They literally just went through a season where they saw star power not being the thing that won him shit because roster construction matters. And to me, this move right here, if it is just to, you know what I'm saying, get Bronny to lure LeBron, and if they really think they're gonna compete with LeBron James on the Suns, and this game is that simple, and they're playing 2K in real life, they have a rude awakening. Because it'll be another offseason where they somehow raise their standards, raise their expectations, without, in my opinion, getting marginally better to warrant said expectations. I don't know what the Suns are doing. I think some of the things I've heard from their front office after the playoffs ended were very alarming as well. That did not look like a front office that took accountability for the things that happened this past season. And if I'm LeBron and they're just drafting Bronny to lure me, when in reality they aren't really going to develop Bronny, and also there is no space for Bronny to develop on a team trying to win a championship immediately. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If Bronny gets drafted by the Suns as the 22nd overall pick, he is immediately going to go to... If that's the plan, that's the plan. But the space that needs to be there for him to develop, I don't think it's going to be there because they're going to be in such a win-now mode mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't like it. And then for the Lakers, for me, their biggest concern is the coaching dilemma. I still think JJ Redick is a bad fit for them. You know what I'm saying? And ultimately, I just hope, you know, if this is a situation of Bronny wanting to get into the league for his own reasons, that the team that draft him actually gives him the proper time to develop, because he is a guy that's going to need the proper time to develop, in my opinion. And these franchises and their GMs and their front offices, first of all, we got to know their names more. I feel like in the league, there's only a few GMs we truly know. I want the NBA community to know more of these front offices by name, the same way we know a lot of these coaches by name now. And number two, just blame them more for shit, and give them credit more for shit when they make fantastic moves. You know what I'm saying? How does Bronny fit? How does Bronny fix any of the Lakers' issues? I don't think he does at all. You know, like, I guess they needed a POA defender, but again, like, what kind of defender do you think Bronny is gonna be out the gate? I don't know, bro. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. I feel like I was all over the place in this video. Just because there is a lot to cover about the whole Bronny James situation. But with that being said, I'm out, man. Peace.